7 gestures girls always fall for. Most guys try too hard. Over-explaining, over-complimenting, over-performing. The men women actually fall for, they do the opposite. In this video, you will learn 7 gestures that separate you from the pack, and the final one is the clearest example of why less really is more. Hey, if you are new, we post daily dating advice for men. Join the discussion in the comments and subscribe to keep leveling up. 1. You pause before responding. Most guys rush to fill. Silence like it is a burning building. But when you take a beat even half a second longer than expected, it creates this ripple of intrigue. She is suddenly leaning into the space you left open, waiting curious, wondering what thought just passed through your head. It does not come across as hesitation, it comes across as presence. That pause shows you are not just blurting the first thing that pops up. You are choosing your words carefully, and the unspoken message is clear. You are a man who does not operate on impulse alone. That quiet micro-moment feels different to her, and different is magnetic. Pausing gives her the chance to feel that you are thoughtful and deliberate, which communicates maturity and emotional intelligence. Something rare in men and extremely attractive. 2. You adjust something small about her environment. It is not the big, flashy gestures that hit hardest. It is the subtle tweaks. You shift the chair so she is not in direct sunlight. You angle the umbrella slightly to block the wind. You notice the tiny discomfort she has not voiced yet and resolve it before she even names it. To her, that is wizard-level awareness. It communicates, I am tuned in and I act on what I notice. That is a kind of protection most people do not even think to offer, and it sticks with her long after the moment passes. These small acts prove that your attention is not performative, but instinctive. It shows her that you are present enough to notice details most men miss. This makes her feel safe, seen, and cared for, without you ever needing to say the words. 3. You lower your voice instead of raising it. Here is the plot twist. Intensity does not come from volume. It comes from contrast. When everyone else gets louder to be heard, you do the opposite. You drop your tone, slow your words, and suddenly the room bends toward you. She associates that calm control with confidence, and confidence is the signal her nervous system has been scanning for all along. It makes her lean closer, not just physically, but emotionally, because your restraint carries more weight than someone else's performance. This creates the impression that you are a man who controls himself, rather than a man who tries to control others. That subtle distinction is powerful because women unconsciously read emotional safety in your composure. A man who can stay calm under pressure is a man she can trust in chaos. 4. You remember what she mentioned in passing, not the obvious. Stuff like her birthday or her favorite color. That is the low-hanging fruit. The gesture that lands is when you bring up the tiny detail she did not expect you to catch. Maybe she once complained about how her left AirPod always falls out, and a week later you tease her about that rebellious ear. It is playful, but it also reveals you were listening when no one else would have bothered. That moment translates to you, matter enough for me to store the unspoken parts of you, and that is priceless. This shows her that you do not just hear her voice, you actually listen to her essence. Remembering details is one of the deepest forms of validation because it proves she exists in your world, even when she is not around. That feeling is addictive. 5. You redirect your attention mid-conversation. Imagine this. She is mid-story, and the waiter interrupts. Most guys give full attention to the waiter. You instead keep your gaze on her until she has finished her sentence, then politely shift to the waiter. That micro-gesture shows priority. It is not dramatic, but she feels it deep in her chest. She comes first in your focus. That is the kind of move she will not consciously point out, but she will replay it later when she wonders why you felt different from every other guy at the table. This creates the impression that she is not just one of many voices fighting for your attention. She is the center of gravity in the room you are in, and women remember men who give them that kind of centered focus long after the night ends. 6. You frame her in the moment, not with a camera, with your body language. You step aside so she is the center of the group's attention. You angle your shoulders toward her when she speaks. You laugh in a way that highlights her punchline instead of your own. It is this invisible stagecraft where you use your presence to amplify hers, and women feel that elevation instantly. It is not about being submissive. It is about knowing you do not lose shine by letting someone else glow. That generosity of presence is magnetic in ways words cannot capture. The man who makes a woman feel brighter in public is the man she will think about in private, because he has shown that his confidence is so abundant. It does not need constant validation. 7. You let silence linger after she shares something vulnerable. Most guys try to patch up vulnerability with reassurance or jokes, but when you hold space without rushing to fix it, you give her a gift few men ever do, the experience of being fully felt. That silence says, I can handle the weight of your truth without needing to soften it. It creates a depth of trust that cannot be manufactured. She does not just fall for the gesture. She falls for the rare feeling of being seen without conditions. This is one of the strongest bonds you can form because it taps into her deepest need to feel accepted, not for what she presents, but for what she hides. Up next, discover what to do if she ignores you, or learn what happens when you stop chasing her. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more.